Well, hey guys, how we doing? It's Jazzvinder, and our talk for today is how to live in peace with anger, contempt, and judgment. Why is that important? It's important because every part of us, every point along the line of the spectrum of our emotions belongs there. It's there for a reason. We have not been given anything just for the purpose of destroying it. We have to learn to use the spectrum of our emotions correctly, responsibly, ethically, and with a kind of healthy love for ourselves, a kind of self-respect and a dignity for ourselves. If you try to remove something from yourself, that's fundamentally an act of self-hatred. If you learn to use things like anger, contempt, and judgment, then you will find that they actually support your life. They support your happiness and they support your emotional well-being. If you misuse them, of course, they're extremely toxic and destructive. But then again, so is saying yes to everything. Saying yes to everything, you could destroy your life by saying yes to everything rather quickly, right? So, how do we do this? What is the place for anger? Anger is simply, the only place for anger in your life is as a bridge between depressed paralysis and inactivity and motivated action and clarity. Think of anger like that moment where you turn the key in the ignition and the car is jolted from a state of dormancy to a state of activation, where it's now able to be moved from somewhere to somewhere else. What is contempt? Contempt is the redrawing of boundaries when someone is compromising you, disrespecting you. And instead of just sulking and resenting and watching them push you around, and in your head, you're just saying all kinds of things, but you're still going along with it. Contempt is what just says, nope, not happening. No way, not on my watch. What is judgment? What is worthy of judgment? And where should we exercise judgment? And I mean in that sense of being judgmental and judging something to be negative, judging something to be worthy of exclusion. Well, the definition of morality is to do whatever it is that you want with your life, as long as it does not curtail the spectrum of choices and possibilities and resources of another person. So behavior that does those things, that behavior and choices and beliefs and cultural practices that by their very nature rob other people of their rights, rob other people of a chance to be treated fairly and respectfully in society, are things worthy of judgment. I think it's perfectly fine to judge people who are homicidal, for example. I think it's totally fine to say homicide is bad, that homicidal people are bad. If we just say, oh, I'm a judgment-free person, they're just working out their relationship to themselves, well, what about that person who just lost their life? What about that person who, was assaulted sexually or was beaten up or, God forbid, was killed, right? We absolutely need to stand in judgment of that behavior to protect innocent people. If your behavior, if your beliefs, if who you are and where you're at with yourself is going to violate the sanctity of others' lives, as long as it continues, the world has every right to shut that shit down. Well, guys, I hope this has served you. Let's talk again soon.